Hey, what's going on guys? Mark back in the workshop for Mark's Aquatics. On this little video today, I thought what we do is we go through the workshop and through the shrimp room, and I'll show you how everything's been going on and has been getting on. Lots of things been happening, some good and some bad, but we'll get into that as we go along. The koi are looking beautiful this morning after their food, so I better not let them down. Autumn now here in the UK, and all the leaves are starting to come down off the trees. There you go guys, started to change their food up now to I've got them off the high protein food and I've got them now onto wheat germ with garlic. That's going to boost up their little immune systems as that colder water starts to take effect, as that temperature's dropping. Temperature's around 13.9 degrees in the pond now, which is still okay. You can feed them until it gets to about 10 degrees. I know there's some foods out there that they say you can feed below, but personally I like to just feed till it gets to about 10 degrees, and then I put the covers on the pond. You can see a few leaves in the pond now, and they're not as active as they were earlier on in the year when obviously the water was a lot warmer, and they're more active because their digestive systems are working quicker. Water's warmer, so they're all up to speed and racing around the place. They put on some good size this summer. Absolutely fantastic. Everyone's healthy. And their colours are really looking nice. They really are. Right then, I'll move on to that. That's the good news. There's some good news there. Now, actually got some bad news as well. I'm very sorry to say that we've lost Jack. Bless him. I came down yesterday morning and he was just on the bottom, and I couldn't understand why. So I come down every morning obviously and I feed him. There was no signs of anything, floats, nothing at all. I really can't understand why he passed away. He was just on the bottom. He was just literally on the, I just put my hands in, gently touched him, and he'd gone, bless him. So I'm going to miss him, but I put one of his sons in there, as you can see there, little guy there, to take his place from the other ones in the other room just for now. He's got some lovely colours in his fins. He wasn't as pretty as his dad, but he's a stunning little fish all the same. So I was really sad to have to tell you guys that, and really sad to come down and actually find him gone, because he was a beautiful fish, really good nature, and he wasn't that old, to be honest. I really can't understand. Sometimes these things just happen, guys, and no doubt, you know, when you get into keeping fish for as long as I have, and some of you other guys have, these things do happen. It's like some people, you know, some people can just have heart attacks, some people can just have things wrong with them and they can just pass away without any apparent reason, and that's what seemed to happen to him. I mean, the water quality is spot on, everything's perfect in there, and it's just one of them things, sadly. So I shall miss him. I shall miss him. Anyway, moving on to these little guys. Uh-oh, everything's gone. All the fry have gone. Now the reason is for that, I came in the workshop here, I said to my daughter, you must keep the workshop door closed, okay, because I've got fry in there and I don't want anything going in there and spooking them. And she came in for something and left the door open, and guess who came in? Yep, Lemon, my cat. And I found him sat here going like this at the fish, and of course that spooked them, and they scoffed every single one of their babies, apart from about, I reckon about maybe five or six. I have put those into another tank. Hopefully they're doing okay. We'll go and have a look at those guys in a minute. So that's a bit of sad news on that as well. It hasn't been a good week for Mark's Aquatics, sadly. The workshop's had some losses, some casualties. So I'm fattening her up again. We'll let her go again. Let the pair go. They're still very active. She's filling up again, and hopefully we'll have another batch. Well, I know we'll have another batch of eggs shortly, and then we can bring on some. I'll take some of the others away as well. I did take some of the others away, but a lot of them didn't make it for some strange reason. I acclimated them slowly. I've done this before, but it just hasn't been a very successful improved this time, but we won't give up. Like I always say, keep going, and we'll do it again. Moving across this way, you can see all the little black neons. They're doing extremely well. I'll just put in some micro worms for those little guys. There you go. That's some of the micro worms that we've been rearing up, and they will crawl around in the substrate, and they'll be picking those off and growing and getting nice and healthy. I've just taken a bit of water out there. I'm going to give it another water change. It looks a bit low. That's the reason why, because I'm going to be filling that up shortly. So the little black neon fry are doing extremely well. That's good news there. And we've got some good news on the angelfish as well. Now if we look next door, there's a mass, an absolute mass of angelfish fry on top of the filter. Now I sucked them out with a turkey baster and I put them on top of that filter there so they can just hang on, and they're going to be free swimming within the next, I would say, next couple of days. I would have thought. That little yolk sac now has nearly been used up, and they're starting to get a little bit, they're lifting off the bottom a little bit. They'll scoot up to the surface, little gulp of air, and that swim bladder will be full, and they'll be away then, and they could be feeding on the micro worms, which is great because they can take the micro worms from day one. Now in amongst here, if you look at the back, oh look, still very tiny, but we've got one of the little gold rams there. I think there's a couple around hiding in amongst the substrate. But sadly, thanks to Lemon, my cat, well, not thanks to him, he was just doing what nature put him on the earth to do, and that was annoy creatures. But there's a few kicking around in here. They might be up really heavily planted, so there's lots and lots of life in there for the fry to eat, for the angel fry to eat when they start to emerge. We've got the Infusoria culture up here as well. As you can see, there's millions of them in that water column there. I'll put the video out. I've made a video, sorry, on start to finish, just how to do an Infusoria culture. But you can see them there, look. Thousands and thousands of them all ready to go in when these guys become free swimming. They don't need the Infusoria angels because they're quite big fry, so as you can see in the sponge filter, so they will take the micro worms, which I've got in my little pot here. You can see them. Imperative first foods, guys. Don't forget, if you're breeding angels, I know there's one of you guys on there messaged me today saying that yours have hatched as well and they're wriggling, which is fantastic. Really happy to hear that, guys. And I hope you're going to get a good rate, but you've got to give them these micro worms, okay? They will eat finely crushed food, but you won't beat live food to get them and to give them a good kickstart in life, okay? So try and get hold of some of those if you can. But these little guys are absolutely stunning. Look at all those little eyes looking at you. Little tails going, using up that egg sac and getting stronger every day. Now I've left some in with Mum and Dad. They're over here. I'll just pan out a bit. There's the proud mums and dads. Sorry about a bit of glare there, guys, but I've actually messed around with my light in there. Now I've left some of them on that leaf there. You can see all the little eyes. Some of the eggs there which haven't been successful, but she's moved them onto the leaf as well. But you can see there's maybe 20, 25 there, and I'm going to let them bring those up. But I wanted to bring up quite a few, and I didn't fancy Mr. Lemon coming in again and spooking everything and then eating all those as well. So I've moved a few out, but they're all healthy as well. So that's the update on those little fry. I tell you what though, these Infusoria cultures, they really do smell when they get to this stage. So if you've got an outer shed, like you can put it outside, or you've got a very understanding partner, I would leave it in the house in the warm. But if not, I'd put it out in the shed in a window, or out in a conservatory somewhere out the way next to an open window, because they really do pong, guys, they really do. Anyway, all these little chaps are doing well. They're doing well. Now I'm going to be running down the breeding videos now, and we're going to be getting into a bit more of the DIY stuff. The reason for that is obviously this is an outbuilding and it's not 100% insulated, so I've got to do some more work in here. As and when I get more money, I can insulate the roof up and make it all a little bit more friendly for doing things through the winter. But I've got X amount of heaters going in here and it really does all add up. But I'm not a millionaire, so I can't be affording to constantly heat all these tanks all the way through the winter and breed things. So I'm going to slowly run these down. I'm going to bring up what I've got, and but I think we're not going to be breeding anything else now. Okay, we're just going to be going on to more DIY projects and some other funky stuff. We're going to get this my marine room set up, coral room set up as well. So there's going to be some interesting builds coming up, doing the fish room out as well. Take you over to the bench tank. All these guys are looking healthy. All the zebra danios are growing up well. We got some. These are some of the fish guys as well, which I have bought, which we're going to do next year. But I'm going to bring them on. As you can see there, I've got 6 lovely rummy nose tetras there. We're going to be breeding those in the spring. I've got some cardinal tetras in there, which I'm fattening up as well. I've got 6 of those, so we're going to be breeding those. Big mama there, she's ready to go again and drop a load more babies. All the shrimp are doing well. Little plecos are growing. And some of these hybrids are looking absolutely stunning, they really are. That one over there with remember the crown tail that I showed you? Where's he gone now? That could be him down here somewhere. They're so fast, they really are. But some of the tails are really exaggerated. Look at that, they're chasing those other girls around like crazy. The black neons are all back in there, all the parents for those. So we're going to be breeding more stuff next year, guys. That Emperor Tetra as well. I lost the female for that, which is a shame, but here's a lovely example of an Emperor Tetra. But it's very busy in now. I've got to get all these zebra danios out, take them back to the shop, and we've got some credit for those guys. Some of the baby mountain minnows as well, you can see there around with the parents. I've got one mum up in the corner there. She's panting away there. I wouldn't be surprised if she starts giving birth any minute, to be honest, the way she's hidden away up in the weed there. So I'll leave her in peace. Some of the other shrimps down below. Still got some crystal blacks, some azuras in there as well. So they've all been fed. Can't believe how big that girl is. Look at the size of her. She's going to explode any minute now. Lovely to see. Right, let's go into the shrimp room, I think, now, guys, and have a look what's been going on in there. I've got some more good news in there as well, so let's go in there now. Right, there you go, guys. There's the baby, all the baby betters that we've been bringing along in this tank. Still all getting on okay. Lots of cover in there for them. I'm going to start separating them probably in the next couple of weeks. But we've got some lovely colours in there. They're all much the same. There's nothing stands out. These are all Jack's offspring, bless him. Really upset about losing him. He was such an old character, he really was. He wasn't that old, to be honest. But we've got all his children here. Some of them are quite nice looking. They're not as patterned as he is, but like I said before in a previous video, there was 2 completely different, they weren't line bred, so it was just, the genes were just mixed up between 2, so we've just got a good old mix match of all kinds there. We've got some lovely colours in amongst them. We really have stunning colours through the fins. And his little bloodline has been carried on. Beautiful little fish, they really are. Got the bristlenose next door, in amongst all that lot down there. We've still got the baby bristlenose. I'll be taking them to the shop. We've got some of the nice albino long fins there as well. He's in his little cave down there looking after some eggs. You've got the killifish there as well. Killifish pair in there. They're still laying eggs away, but we're just letting them get on with things at the moment, so we're not trying to breed anything else, breed any more. Still got some endlers in there as well. They're doing nice. But there is a lot of bristlenose babies in there. So that's what's been going on in there. They're all growing well. Back to that sea of colour of little baby bettas. The old Siamese fighting fish. Absolutely stunning, they really are. But it's nice to see them all getting on. I got a pair of Plecos in there as well. Remember a while back we got the blue-eyed, the lemons. The blue-eyed lemon Plecos. They're in the pot there. I think she may be in there at the moment with him, so hopefully they've become of age now, because they're only young when I bought them originally, so they may have got to a certain, to that age now where they're going to be breeding. So it's all patience in this game, guys. It's all patience. But once you get there, it's really worth it in the long run. Right then, for more good news. Right, I'm not going to show you there. That's the king. Oh, there's me actually. It wasn't the king Pleco tank. You can see some of the king Pleco hides there. Now I've got the light off in there today because I'm just trying something to get them to breed. A little bit of darkness there. Obviously the tank's lit up around it, so there's a little bit of light. If we go around to this tank here, and I don't know if we can see any of the little babies, but I've put the little baby Plex now in with the parents. There is one, if you look at the side, just at the side of that piece of wood there along the edge of the pot. You can just make out that little stripy fin there. You might be able to see underneath. But we've got one under there. There's a couple under the sponge filter, I think, at the back. There's one there. I'll just shine my torch in. They're coming on beautiful. I'll just shine it in here. I know I can do this now because I've there's one of the males, and we've got the pair. Which are hiding in there. And I also have another male which is hiding in that pot there. And one of the first baby one that we got out is in the pot with these two as well. Now the reason I shone the torch in there was because we got some more eggs. We got another load of eggs there, which is fantastic news. I just put the others in. I came in last night, briefly just shone the torch in there, and I saw them, whipped the torch away quick, and I've decided I'm going to take these out. So I actually stripped these eggs out the pot and I'm going to bring them on, and that way I can be bringing these on, they'll be feeding up again and she'll fill up again, and we'll get some more eggs out quicker that way. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be bringing these guys on. Sorry, I'll get a better picture for you. I'll be bringing these guys on. Hopefully they're all fertile and been fertilised, and we'll have another load more. I don't know how many we've got there actually. Let me try and get a view above there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 I think there. So we've got 10. So if we get those out, that'll be fantastic. That'll really raise up the colony. So that's fantastic news, that is. We've got some more out. Anyway guys, I've made a start on the outside building now. So I've ripped off our old barn doors, these horrible old wooden doors we had on there. They're all coal shed doors, and I've managed to pick up 2 plastic doors which I've actually trimmed down and managed to fit, and they look fantastic. Number 55, that's not my house number, that's the one it was on before. But obviously I've foamed those all in. I've got to put trim round the edges and smarten all that up, and then we're going to get inside and we're going to put some timber work up. We're going to get some glass cut, we're going to be making tanks. There's going to be all sorts going on in there. It's going to be great fun, and I can't wait to get back into my marine stuff. I really can't. Really super excited about that, and I'm going to try and do a little coral outfit in there. and so I can be teaching you all about the marine game from start to finish, all the way through, all the different types of corals and the fish, crustaceans, all the critters, everything to do with it. I'll teach you all about that stuff. Right, let's go back into the workshop, I think. Oh well guys, we've had a quick run around the place, and hope you enjoyed that little update on everything that's been going on. Like I say, it's a shame about poor old Jack. Gonna miss him in the mornings, taking his little bloodworms out of the tweezers, and just him creeping around looking at me out from underneath the water lettuce. Well, I've got one of his boys in there now, so he's going to grow up in here, and we'll see what kind of a fish he makes as time goes along. We're going to let these guys go again, give them a water change today, give them some more bloodworms. You can see I gave them some earlier there, they're still picking those up. So everything's on the mend. Like I say, we've had some good news and we've had some bad news, but when you keep as many things as I keep here, something is going to go wrong somewhere at some point in some time. So, you know, it's just one of the parts of being an aquarist, and it's just one thing that sadly we've got to put up with, you know. And when you're bringing all these little things, bringing them up, things do sadly go wrong. But we've got lots of little babies on the way. Mum and Dad, they're sorry mate, I'm not going to touch your little boys and girls. I know. He's after me. Oh, and then I'll move back a bit and I'll zoom in. I think that's probably the best way to do things. I've got a sea of bloodworm there, look at that lot. Now I got these off of eBay and I forgot to put the link in last time, so when I do this video I'll put the link in where I got these. They come dry packed in newspaper, and if you're breeding fish it's fine because you do get a lot. I mean, you can freeze them, but then that pretty much defeats the object of buying live in the first place. I buy them on this amount because of the amount of things that I have been breeding throughout the summer. So I've been bringing them on in big batches, keeping them in the workshop out here where it's cool, and they love them. I just stir those through there, lift that up there, and we'll chuck some in. Look at that lot. Then let all these guys have a feeding frenzy on them. But that's how you condition your fish up, guys, and make them nice and healthy. Give them a good old mixed diet. Give them the foods that they need. Higher proteins if you want them to get conditioned up for breeding. And you'll be having some breeding success like we've had in the workshop here this summer. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave you on that note. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, good and bad news. And but it all carries on. And we'll be back again for another series very, very shortly on Sunday. So as always guys, you're all stars, love you loads, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next edition of Marsh Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.